Farm4Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit Podcast.
The posse's all here. Welcome to the Farm4Profit Podcast. You got Tanner, Corey, and Dave all sitting here in the studio together. What a fun afternoon because we can't do anything else.
I mean, we could do a lot of things. We just can't plant.
Oh, isn't that the only thing we should be doing this time of year?
Right. Well, there's a lot of things I should be working on that's even not planting.
And Dave's sitting here going, oh, man, my list is so long.
Yeah. Dave just keeps putting me off because he's too busy. I'm trying to go up there and help him. And
It's getting shorter, though. It's getting shorter.
Yeah.
I've checked a lot of boxes this week.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Should premise, we were recording this on April 19th, so this won't come out until planters are hopefully well done.
Well done.
Well done. You know, and hopefully
that's
it's going good.
intentional because you as our audience, we want to make sure that you've got quality entertainment while you're out in the cab.
Yep.
But we're also going to be there. So we don't want to half-ass anything.
Right.
We thank you, listeners. I didn't hear this on another podcast. I got a favor of you. I want you to go, obviously, leave your 5-star review. But I want you to share this on social media with 5 people that you think would enjoy this episode.
No one's going to do that.
Nobody's going to do that? I don't even know if I have 5 friends to share
I don't
it with.
know. I took a social media class, and they said people do what you tell them to do.
Oh,
Really?
Hey, make sure to go like, rate, review, you know.
Maybe we should tell him, not Tanner.
Our Venmo
Maybe we should tell
is
them.
out there on the account. You
Share it
all
with 6
should send
people.
us $5 and share it with 6 people.
Send us $5
Can you imagine?
for the low price of
You
$1 a month.
But wait, that's
could
not
support
it.
the
could
Farm4Profit
support
podcast.
one podcast host for the low price. Oh, that's terrible. You guys having fun? Ready to have a good time this afternoon? We got a lot of recordings. First one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
What do you
if,
got? You got me some royalty free.
royalty free.
You should have heard the one he played for me yesterday, Dave. The beat did not drop.
There was no.
He's like, it's coming.
There
Here
was
it comes.
no beat.
Maybe.
I should have came with you guys yesterday, but track meet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, kids and stuff. And Tanner scheduling it 12 hours in advance. Right?
Yes. It's a
All
rain day.
right, today on the Farm4Fun show, we are back in studio. It feels so good, and all 3 of us are actually here. That's rare anymore. We head back to the land of what seems to make the most social media YouTube farmers. This young man is an up-and-comer in the game with high-quality, funny, entertaining content about daily life on a southwestern Minnesota farm. Please welcome to the show, Carson Kaylor, a.k.a. the 6th-gen farmer.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
Nice introduction there. I don't know. You might be hyping me up a little bit.
Well, yeah, with that shirt on, I probably should have toned it down a little bit. Yeah, he does have a seed shirt on, and you can see it on YouTube. It's Wiffles. So, congratulations, Wiffles. You have a free ad.
No, I'm sending them a bill. You already know our listeners aren't going to send us the $5 that we asked for, so we're sending Wiffles a bill.
Just got to make sure they get the Hogemeyer logo. Which side of the hat is it on?
That's
there
there,
it is. There it is. Get it that in. Life's about balance. So anyway, Carson, what is going on, buddy?
Oh, not a whole lot. Tanner reached out to me here, and he said, "Well, will Friday work?" And I said, "Well, not if I'm in the field, but we had this nice rain here, and I got out of hauling some corn today to hang out with you guys. So, pretty
Perfect.
good day so far."
Was it getting pretty dry? Did you welcome the rain?
Yeah, it was. Well, we knew the cold spell was coming too, so we got all of our corn planted except for the corn on corn and the organic. We didn't want that to be in some cold, wet rain, but we got everything else corn-wise planted. So, yeah, it was. When you're really busy like that, there's definitely an opportunity for rain and slow down and get some other things done.
Yep.
Especially when you're this early in the season.
Create some content.
Exactly. Man, what was the soil temperatures up there you're sticking that corn in?
Oh, it was above 50, probably 55, 60. It was pretty hot. I mean, I had the air conditioning turned all the way up in the tractor, and it wasn't keeping up. So it was warm. It was good.
It wasn't keeping up. Sounds like the story of my life.
I
was
doing everything.
Hey, let me explain though.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a battery cable going out in the tractor.
Uh-huh.
So on day 3 of planting, I lost my monitors were flickering. I lost the power to my GPS receivers. I planted an entire Wiffles hybrid plot with my markers and no air conditioning.
You poor
Oh,
person.
yeah.
A 22-year-old planting with markers.
Yeah.
Were the rows straight?
Yeah.
My brother-in-law bought a 12-row planter, and he's going to have my nephews plant with a 4630, no GPS, because he wants them to learn by using markers.
That's a good plan because
That's a very good plan.
I've got the technology on the planter too, and I've got about 3 things that I need to fix. A load cell sensor on a row. I kept having a row quit planting, and I kept pinching a wire every time I folded and unfolded. And this electrical stuff, man, it works great when it's working great. When it doesn't, it's like you just want to go get that ground drive, no GPS, just planter that when you put it in the ground, it's going to go.
Yeah. Speaking of air conditioning, I had a listener send me a TikTok, and it is, what's the first thing you do when you get into a hotel room? And it's of this gal that takes a Band-Aid and puts it over the peephole, sets a quarter on the handle, slides one of those keychain locks into the door, wipes down the cell phone, takes a red light to the TV screen in the mirror looking for cameras, does all these things. And the guy that sent it to me goes, usually I just crank the AC all the way to the lowest setting.
That is the first thing.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep, because they always got it hot. But yeah, man, that's crazy. You guys are planting up there. I mean, I guess you're not that much further north of us, but I've been holding Dave off. He bought a farm this year and has been wanting to plant his corn. I said, Dave, you have 1 day of planting, and I want you to plant it on the best day.
Yes.
Everyone else has to get started at some point, so they hit a good window. So it's been hard for you to not plant, hasn't it, Ben?
It has. Well, I never got the feeling of everybody else is going until this year, and everybody else is going.
I mean, we got back in March from Commodity Classic, and you're like, there's discs in the field. There are guys everywhere. I got to get something in the field.
we gotta
Something
do
has to
something.
be there. That's like, Dave, that's not how it works. Just because the neighbor's doing it doesn't mean it's right.
Yep.
I got a story. I got an older neighbor, and he said this is probably back in the 60s, early 70s. They kind of had a warm streak at the end of May, and they removed the chains from the ground drive planter, and they went out and they planted the first 120 feet along a highway, or they didn't actually plant anything. They just went and made the marks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
said for about 2 weeks, all the neighbors would drive by real slow, see if that corn was popping up.
And they just did it as a decoy.
Yep.
Just see who they could get in the
Or
field.
maybe they actually tried to plant and they forgot to put the chains back on.
And then
it was a test plot. Throw the flag down. That is crazy because my dad and grandpa used to say, "Yep, we'd go to the shed at end of May and pull the 6 row out and oil the chains or whatever, and put seed in and go." There was no getting the planter ready in the winter. There was no getting going in April. It was just whenever it was fit, and calves were done calving and all that kind of stuff.
I had a conversation with an old timer that swears, whether I can believe him or not, that he's on the original disc openers on his planter.
No way.
I couldn't believe it. It's a 12 row, and he's got like 360 acres that he farms. But the planter is, at least when I looked up the model number, is a 20-year-old planter.
Really?
John Deere?
Nope, International.
International. So like a Cyclo?
Yep.
Okay. I could see that. Back when steel was good and it didn't.
Back when steel was stronger.
Steel and rubber.
Yeah.
Higher quality at that time.
Yep. So let's get into your background, man. You grew up on the farm that you're farming right now?
Correct. Yes. So, family farm. Growing up, riding in tractor with dad and my uncle, and the weird thing is that other than riding in the tractors, I did not have the ambition or really want to come back and farm until college.
And why is that?
I always wanted to. I was always really into technology, and I always wanted to be like an inventor or something, and I always had these dreams of going off and doing these cool things. And it wasn't until COVID hit, and I was forced, and I got kicked out of school, and I was forced to come back home and farm, and my family just tossed me in the planter for the spring to keep stuff moving, and that was when I really fell in love with it.
That's kind of like Gatlin Didier.
Yeah.
He came back to the farm. He was in California trying to act.
He was an actor.
And went back to the farm during COVID because there was no acting jobs, and all of a sudden realized what he, had always loved it but never wanted to do it, and realized what he was missing out on. And that's crazy to have that perspective. And I would say I'm I was similar. Oh, there he is, the old man with his
There's not a
ringer
hit
on.
silent on his phone.
Yeah. I was similar in because all my friends were in town growing up, and I just wanted to be in town with my friends.
Yeah.
And then, but I think my switch was on probably when I was in high school in FFA and doing cattle and all that. And I just knew I wanted to farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what all crops are you growing? I know you said organic there, so that's a little different than most.
It is. Yeah. So we do corn, soybeans, like every other farmer in Minnesota and northern Iowa does.
Yep.
But around COVID, we started doing some organic, dabbling a little bit, transitioning some acres here or there. So our organic corn, soybeans are the main ones. Last year we tried peas for the first time, and we're doing a little bit more peas again this year. And then to break up the weed cycle, we throw some cover crops in there every once in a while, either a rye or oats or something.
Right.
Did I see that you had sweet corn too?
Yes, you're right. We did have sweet corn in one year. I forgot about that.
So what was the push for organic? Obviously higher prices, but was it because you believed in it, or was it just trying to do more with less?
So technically this all happened beforehand, but so a couple of years ago, my family actually split up in the farm. So my dad and my uncle were farming together, and there was multiple people from both sides of the family that were farming with them. And it was getting to a point where there's so many people that we couldn't have a common goal anymore. And it was a very friendly split, but we decided, hey, we need to split now before this gets out of hand. We get too many people. Technically, we started doing a little bit organic before that, but it was a way to to keep our smaller farm now, just my dad, brother, and I, a little bit more sustainable. And it's also been a great thing for my dad, who has been farming for, I don't know, he just put in his 46 or 40, he's putting in his upper 40th crop for his lifetime. And he says the organic's just kind of a nice change in pace for him. He really enjoys doing something a little bit different and getting back in a cultivator like he was when he was a kid.
Was it really a friendly split?
Yeah. No, it actually was.
I don't know.
It was.
Why?
Do you think if when we split, it's going to be friendly?
Are we going to split? Is that what?
Well, I hope not for a long time, but one of these days you two aren't going to show up, and you're just going to leave me high and dry.
I think you'll be fine.
Oh.
You just do the shows without us.
Yeah, since that'll do well. I'll know that you two are the pretty faces.
Man, so where do you guys take the organic crops? Or is that just picked up on the farm?
So most of it goes down to Sioux City, actually.
I see.
And it gets put on a train and goes out to a chicken farm out in California.
Gotcha.
California.
And we all know that it takes, 3 years to transition to organic?
Correct.
So how do you manage that time frame between conventional and organic?
So the first thing that we did was we tried to break up the weed cycle. So we planted some rye. Rye is a great weed suppressant.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually planted soybeans into the rye and combined them and harvest them. And you obviously you can't market them as organic when
Right.
you're in transition, but you can still market them and sell them conventionally, regularly. So we did that. And then the second year we just planted a regular corn crop on it, but planted plant organic non-GMO seeds and combined it and cultivated it and walked it, whatever.
Right.
So it's you're still getting a crop off it. It's obviously it's yielding less and you're getting less for it, but the hope is that in a couple of years with the organic crop you can recoup that money back.
Right.
And I think we did the math. It was like the third year or something we finally broke even.
Okay.
From where we would have been if we would have just kept it.
So
A
third
6-year time period.
So the third year of being organic or the third year in your transition?
I think it was the third year of a certified organic crop.
Okay. So yeah, it took
Finally
6
we're
years.
like, okay, now from here on, it's more profitable than it would have been.
And that's why people don't take their entire farms and do this. It's a field at a time.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're to 3 fields now, and we're thinking about potentially starting a 4th here.
How about what are you using for fertilizer? Getting a lot of manure?
So Here in Martin County, we're kind of known as the hog manure county or hog county in Minnesota. So we have a lot of hog manure.
Nice.
That's basically it. And we get some chicken manure, but.
So do you guys have hogs yourself, or you just take advantage of neighbors? That didn't sound
we got
good.
quite a few neighbors that have hog sites on our fields, or like, on a little acres on our field. One of our landlords has quite a bit of pig, so we take some manure from him.
That's good stuff.
Couple corporate hog farms near us that want to get rid of their manure. You got to strategically pick your fields. First of all, they have to be clean.
Yeah.
They want your best, your most weed-free fields, and then within a mile of a hog barn is kind of the other thing that we take into consideration.
That's hard to do around here.
Yeah, it is.
Not very many hog farms.
So you're sixth generation. How many generations are still on the farm?
There'd be 3 that are still on the farm. So
Okay.
My dad, and then my grandpa is, he just turned 86, 87.
Wow.
Yeah, and he picks rock. He works harder than most kids my age. He has a tool cat and a gator, and he all summer long goes and picks all. I mean, we weighed a truck once. We had a side dump, and he picked rock on one field. We have one field where a rock band goes right through the middle.
Yeah.
And we weighed the side dump, empty and then full the rocks he picked, and it was like 27,000 pounds.
A side dump of rocks.
That's crazy.
A side dump of rocks.
So
An
how's he picking it
87-year-old.
in the summer with the crop growing?
Well, I mean, obviously, once he can't drive his tool cat or gator through it anymore, he's not going in it anymore.
Right.
But late spring, early summer.
Have you seen that? I had them come out, TerraClear, that comes out with the drone and flies the rocks. Like, dude, that is badass. That is so cool.
It is super cool. And they actually approached us, and they wanted us to try out their system. And my brother and I were really intrigued, but we said, we got an 87-year-old grandpa. If we take the rock picking away from him, it's not going to be a good day.
But here's what you could do is you could literally have them fly the fields and then still use your grandpa. It's just they'll give you the most efficient path
way.
to the rocks.
Yeah, but if he's done picking rocks in May,
No, he just gets to the next field faster.
That requires me giving my grandpa an iPad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could figure it out. Or maybe you could overlay it onto a map.
So are the big rocks?
he's got to put an X on it with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Got that one.
Yep.
Next.
Has he got like a?
many times where I use Op Center, John Deere Op Center, and when I'm planting, I put flags in there where the rocks are.
Yep.
I'll literally print out a stack of maps and hand it to my grandpa after planting.
Man, that's great that he's still out there doing it at that time. I mean,
he loves it.
And your dedication to keeping him involved. Because, you could just go pick the rock up.
so what about the peas? The peas that you're growing, are those organic as well, or just conventional?
They're organic, food grade. So there's a chance. I don't remember what company we're going through, but if you go to Walmart and buy some organic peas, it could be from our field.
Is there several up there in Minnesota? Because, I mean, there's some peas down here, but they all go to Minnesota. And I think it's like Green Giant that they normally go to.
Yeah, there's a couple around the area. I think there's Green Giant.
Bird's Eye.
Seneca, does that sound right?
Seneca Foods does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's one of. Yeah,
Coming for you, Dave.
Probably. Oh, it's fire
There's a
truck.
couple. I honestly
Go
don't
get
remember
him,
which
brother.
ones through.
Sorry, we got a fire truck coming by. It's just like,
Blaring.
yeah.
Every time we record, someone mows their yard or a cop goes
And
by.
there's a guy mowing his yard right there. No kidding. Doesn't matter what studio you're in.
At least Carson can't hear the lawnmower, but he can hear your cell phone when it rings.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So you,
The old man ringtone. You didn't even change it.
I know. It's been vibrate for so long. And
Do you remember when? You might not remember. You said you're 22.
Yes.
Did you ever pay for ringtones?
Yes.
No. My parents were cool. They didn't give me. And I say this. I mean this. They didn't give me a smartphone until I was in like junior high.
Wow.
Up until then, I had a track flip phone. Up until junior high, and at the time I thought it was lame, but I look back now and I'm so glad they did that.
That's pretty good parents.
See, I had a flip phone when I got my school permit. They wanted me to have something in case I went in the ditch or whatever.
Yeah.
Driving back and forth to school, but I think my first
That's
smartphone.
Right. In Iowa, you can get a school permit.
Yep.
Yes. 14.
If you're a mile away.
Minnesota, we get a farm. We have a farm permit in Minnesota, but you can't technically drive to school, so you throw a hay bale in the back of your truck. And some work clothes in the back seat. So I have to leave early to go help the farm. That was always a
Nice. So when's a non-farm kid get a drive to school? At 16?
16.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I remember my first smartphone was a BlackBerry with the little tracker ball.
I had one before that was semi-smart.
Oh.
Like, I can't remember. You could get on Facebook
So
or
kinda like
whatever,
you?
but it was...
Did you even use T9 texting then?
Oh, yeah.
Not on a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
On my other flip phones.
Nokia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, T9. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
the
you have
Razor.
Game Snake on there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to buy ringtones or make ringtones. You'd go put the phone up next to the radio
Record it.
when your favorite song came on to try and.
That's what I did. I don't think I ever bought a ringtone, but I did maybe buy, like, when you called someone, instead of it ringing, it would be
Oh, yes.
like a Disturbed song or something like that.
Well, and I used to put each person had a different ringtone. I haven't done that for years. That every time my wife's calling her,
That's
every
an
time
old man thing,
yeah,
too.
I don't do that. I don't do that. So
I think I had a George Jones song.
To record the top 40 track on the radio so you could have it
yeah,
on
Yeah.
the cassette player.
yeah.
My dad still has different ringtones. I don't think for people, but like when his cameras turn on here, this sound goes off, and it's like the old Pac-Man sound. And
Yeah.
when this camera turns on, and when it's like, good Lord, and it's loud.
Yeah, my phone's on silent, but I'm always wearing my watch, so my watch will vibrate.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that is such a reliance of mine because I didn't have my watch charged one night or it was unplugged, so I couldn't wear it that day. And I missed so many calls because
It's haptic. What
It's
do they
in
call
my
it?
pocket.
Haptic feedback.
yes.
Haptic feedback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tanner has here that you sell Agra GPS.
Yes, so that's something that started last year when I was side dressing. So, AgriGPS reached out to me to make a YouTube video. They said, "Hey, we see that you like precision ag, and we think you're really good at it. We make this RTK receiver that you plug in your John Deere tractor and you go. Would you like to test it out for 30 days?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'd love to." So they sent me one, threw it on the side dressing rig, and on the second day, I called my contact AgriGPS. I said, "How do I sell these things?"
Why?
Because, I want to preface this. John Deere makes good stuff. The receivers are fantastic. Okay, I'm not denying that they make good stuff, but in order to get RTK on a John Deere receiver, if you go buy a new 7000, it's $1,500 a year
Yep.
per receiver to access that RTK. With the AgriGPS, I got one right here. With these receivers, especially if you're in Minnesota or Iowa or Wisconsin or any of the other states that have a free statewide RTK network, you pay for the receiver, and then that's it.
No
You have
subscription.
free RTK. No subscriptions, no activations.
Are you
and
sure?
It's good.
I felt like, isn't there like a $30 unlock on an annual basis or something? I mean, it's not a
It's
lot.
pretty minimal.
No, it's nothing.
Huh.
Oh, someone duped
I
us.
I have a Minnesota and an Iowa subscription right now. It's still called a subscription, but you don't have to enter a credit card or anything.
Because I was going to ask you, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but my in-laws actually have one of those receivers. And we were planting beans on Tuesday, whatever day before it started raining here. And all of a sudden, as I'm riding around, the guest row gets wider. And I can't figure it out. And then the next time the planter turns around, the guest row is even wider yet.
It's like drifting.
It was exactly 1 year away from the first day that we started planting last year when we put the GPS on the planter, and it took a $30 charge on the credit card to reactivate it.
Are you using the Coors network or are you using a different subscription service?
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask now that you bring it up because I didn't dive that deep. I was like, $30, put it on the Farm4Profit card. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because there's some other, there's some independent base state or service-based networks out there that are in charge. I know Ohio has one called like My Way RTK. We got Digifarm, stuff like that. And there's these other services that are very similar that you can use with the AgriGPS, but the actual state ones are free.
How much more accurate is RTK than SF1?
RTK is sub-inch.
I think SF1's 14 inches.
Okay.
I think you can get pretty accurate. I think you can get pretty accurate with SF1. It's just
SF1
you can't repeat.
Is good. Yeah, SF1 is good, like within an hour. Yeah. But if you stop planting
and then come back the next day,
you could be up to 14 inches off.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because
and that comes down to like, okay, I want a strip till, and I want to plant on that row or whatever.
Well, and that's where you can shift side to side.
Right.
You know, we were doing that. But see, I'm going to use Corey's RTK because it's not worth me spending $1,500 to go buy 1 year subscription for my one field so that I can put it on. So we might just put your receiver on my stuff for that time. But, I have SF1 because I went and bought the subscription. But now they have the deal. Well, John Deere has that deal to where they'll give you everything, but it's just an annual subscription. You get the screen, you get the monitor, you get the
solutions as a service.
Everything. Solutions as a service. Yeah.
SaaS. A SaaS-scription.
SaaS-scription.
To steal that from.
So when you plug that AgriGPS thing in, it just plugs right into your John Deere ports and goes through your John Deere monitor and all that?
Yep. So it shows up on Isobus. So like on the bottom of a Gen 4 display, there's an Isobus VT button that no one ever clicks. But that is where this pops up, and then it shows your accuracy, and you can type in all your information and everything there. Do your TCM calibration, put in your height, your fore and aft, everything that you'd have to do with a John Deere receiver. But you just go through the Isobus, and then it pops up RTK on the screen, and away you go.
Huh.
And what's so cool about these receivers is that you don't have to use the Coors network if you don't want to. You know, I know there's some people. 15 years ago, Iowa had a bad spell where for 2 weeks the Coors network went down. And that was actually how Digifarm got started. But what's really cool is that since RTK's progressed, there's a lot of really cheap solutions to get RTK guidance that not many people know about. If you go to, it's called rtk2go.com. There is a list of public base stations that you can have access to if your receiver can receive RTCM3 messages. So I built the base station for $500, put it on top of my parent shed, and that is on that website. You can go access my base station for free.
Nice.
It's like crowdsource funding, except it's RTK sharing.
RTK?
There it is. So can you put two globes on? Like, can you put an implement globe on your planter and on the tractor and link them up and do the passive implement steering and all that kind of stuff?
Yep. So I'm actually doing that right now.
Okay. Very cool.
I bet there's a YouTube video about it.
I'm sure there is. I've seen them.
There will be. I just edited it this morning before this podcast here.
So what is your YouTube schedule? How often do you try to put a video out?
So this year I'm trying to do one a week. Last year I tried 2 a week, and it got a little bit hectic. And I felt like maybe my quality was degrading a little bit. So I'm cutting it down to one a week here. During the busy seasons, it might be two when I'm able to produce more content. But trying to keep that one a week schedule.
What motivated you to do YouTube?
So it was technology and drones, actually. So when I was in early high school, I was really big into building computers. I actually had a little custom computer building business where I built computers for friends, family, and people in my community.
That's okay.
And I always really wanted a drone. Does Tanner need a computer or what?
We have several computers that need unlocked.
We have 2 computers that we bought and don't have the password to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you jailbreak them?
Just do a fresh install of Windows. Call it a day.
Yeah.
But I can't get that far. I can't even get into it.
Oh, you put your ISO loader on a USB port. You stick it in the back. You boot into your BIOS and skip all that.
I was going to say.
What?
What? Sounds like I need Dave to get me broke in. Your kid, you got a son that's...
I do. We built him a computer. I looked the other day, and I'm like, my kid's so spoiled. We built him a gaming machine at like 10 years old, and bought the case and bought the power supply, and that had to work with the CPU, and had to, and we bought extra RAM, and so we're like geeking out at 32 gigs of RAM, and it's fast.
Yep.
So
All right, I'm gonna send this tower with you, and your son can. I'll pay your son to jailbreak
bet
it.
he could figure it out really quick. So yeah.
If not, we're gonna send it to Carson.
But then like Carson's talking that most people never go into the BIOS, and they tell you don't go into the BIOS. But if you're building off like a fresh motherboard, like you're gonna get the BIOS DVD with it when there was DVDs. Now it just comes as software installed. So
About to say DVD.
yeah, there used to be. I'm just continuing the old theme.
Floppy
here.
disk.
the old floppy
I
disk.
just looked at my laptop. I can't even put a disc in this.
Yeah. We showed our kid a floppy disk the other day, and he's like, "We made those on our 3D printer."
Really?
Okay, yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Well, it's just like content. If you told somebody, he's talking about making content, we make content. That wasn't a word. When did that word start? Like, I got to like.
It was a word. It was
24
just
hours
using a phrase. It was you were content. You were happy.
Content, not content.
And now we just changed the emphasis.
Huh. So, do you have any experience building a server?
Little bit. Not, I wouldn't really call it a server, but I did build myself a NAS, a network attached storage.
Okay.
It's actually running literally right there behind my couch. I took an old computer, put TrueNAS on it, and that's how I save all my files for my videos, because I save everything I film.
Now, can you get access? Can you get access to that from anywhere, or do you have to be plugged into it?
So I have it set up where I can only have access to it on my home network.
Gotcha.
But I have a Western Digital MyCloud behind me, which that I had a whole video on that. That was a bad deal too. But I can access that from anywhere. So I keep all my copyright-free music on there. So when I'm in the tractor and I'm making a video, if I want like music playing in the cab, like create a vibe, I can access my other NAS.
Yeah, you didn't realize this was a job interview.
Yeah, we're thinking about building something here because we handle so much data with our content, with video and
audio,
multiple angles.
images.
And, yeah, it's just, and Dropbox, it's gotten us this far, but my gosh, it's given me so much problems. So, and so slow.
There are other systems out there like Dropbox that are made for that, for
I
business.
I want it here.
They talk to us, so yeah. Minnesota must be a thing.
The best way to do it is to have a NAS in the studio, and then have a backup one at one of your guys' houses in case like something burns down.
Yeah.
We had one in college, and Minnesota. I was in Minnesota. My roommate, they took their closet. We had, like our closet at the end that was for linens. We just took all the shelves out, and that was our server room. And then we had to cool it because it got too hot. So then it was like, all right, we're taking the whole closet now and make it. Yeah.
You're a geek.
What were you guys doing
mined
with that?
Bitcoin in my college
That was
room,
back
so,
when,
yeah.
like, Napster.
Wait. You said you mined Bitcoin in your college closet?
Yeah. So the biggest expense with mining Bitcoin is electricity. But when you're in a dorm, you just pay a flat rate for electricity.
Yeah.
So I just put my souped up computer behind my futon, and it mined Bitcoin. And
I knew people
same
that.
thing. It made the room extremely hot. We had the window open most of the winter.
Yeah.
So how many Bitcoin did you mine?
Not many. It was a little thing I kind of got into, and then I got it at the wrong time, for sure.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I do. In fact, actually, no, I take that back. Because Bitcoin hit a high recently, like
70s.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think I sold it at like 66, and now it's just sitting in Coinbase as cash. I should probably check it actually, like after this, see if it went back down and buy
$3
back into
million.
it.
$3 million.
Carson's going to get a call here in about a half hour, and it's going to be a really poor Mideastern accent saying that he needs to change the password on his Coinbase account.
Really poor Mideastern.
So you didn't go straight from college to the farm, right? You made a stop in between?
So we're getting sidetracked here. I got to talk about how I started my YouTube channel first.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
shit. Yeah. Appreciate you helping us with that. I'll make a note about the post-college story. We'll get back to that.
Yeah. So, getting back to the story, I was really got interest in drones when the drones first started kind of coming about. And my cousin, who does land and real estate stuff, he was selling his old one. He asked if I wanted to buy it. I said absolutely. So I think for like $300, I bought his old drone. And I was just kind of messing around with it at the house and at the lake and whatnot. And my dad said, you should really make like a video scrapbook of farming, because wouldn't you have loved to see like video of me planting with my 7060 Alice and a 16-row 7000 planter back in the 70s?
Yeah.
I said, absolutely. So I went, I think I made like a planting 2018 video and a harvest 2018 video. And the easiest way to share them with friends and family is to throw them on YouTube and send them a link. So I threw together these videos, put them on YouTube, shared the links with my friends and family, forgot about it for about 6 months. And then we come to Christmas, and my cousin said, hey, I never did see that video. Can we pull it up quick? And so I pulled up my phone, and the Harvest 2018 video had like 95,000 views or something insane.
Wow.
And I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I think for 2019, I just did drone footage again. And then 2020, I actually was like, I can only make so many drone videos. I want to try vlogging. And I made the first one, and it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But for some reason, I stuck with it, and I grew to where I am today.
Wow. We look back at some of the first stuff we did and think we were absolutely terrible too.
It
Some people
was.
today still tell us we're terrible.
It
but
was pretty bad. It was. So
the way we're conducting this interview is really top quality as well.
we've been all over the place. But that's what happens when we get interested in something, a part of the story like Bitcoin or, making servers or computers or whatever, because we're generally interested in that stuff and have actually want to figure it out because we have a use for it. Mm-hmm. So now we can talk about your post-college stop between college and the farm.
Yeah. So it was technically it was during college, but so I went to South Dakota State University, and part of the Ag Systems Technology program is you need to have an internship for one summer. In order to graduate, you need to do an internship. So one of my favorite professors, I'll put his name on here, he's awesome, Van Kelly.
Okay.
He taught a class. And in the class, he said, I want you guys to interview 3 people that you admire and that you want to do their job someday.
I hated those assignments.
At the time, I was like, I don't want to do this. But it gave me a really cool opportunity. So one of those people was a neighbor farmer who was the tech precision ag guy for the local C&B dealership. And I thought that's kind of cool, involves ag and technology. So I interviewed him, and we ended up talking for like an hour and a half longer than I had allotted for this interview. And at the end of it, I kind of asked him, I said, do you guys have any internship opportunities? And he said, we really haven't done anything in a while, but I'll ask around and see if we can make something. And the next year, they opened up their internship program again, and I entered it. And at first, I was a salesman. Which is ironic because I was terrible at it. I think I sold 2 lawnmowers, and I think I lost money on both of them. But
that's the guy to go to get a good deal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Grab the
Who needs a new
young guy with milk on his lip.
Yeah.
Oh, $5,000 cash.
But halfway through the summer, after I lost money in these 2 lawnmowers, I was like, hey, I would really like to do something more with technology. And they said, yeah, we'll send you out with our technology guy. And I absolutely loved it. The first year, Hagie had just released their, I think it was 2022? The 2022 Hagie, where they put the John Deere X9 combine cab on the Hagie sprayer.
Yep.
And they redesigned a bunch of stuff on it. And we had one of the prototypes. And that was my baby for the second half of summer. I went around and I demoed this sprayer out, and I learned all about PWM systems and ExactApply. And I took it to Hefty Days in Baltic, South Dakota. I stood in front of the sprayer all day and talked to customers and people at the show about it. And I absolutely loved it. And the next year I came back, I did the same thing, except it was with the See and Spray Ultimate sprayer. And there's YouTube videos on my channel about both those sprayers.
Nice.
So I kind of became the the person that trained everyone in the dealership about these new sprayers. So I trained salesmen, customers, technicians, kind of all the stuff they needed to know about these new sprayers. And I got to travel a bunch for that too. I went from Minnesota, I went out to Montana. I did a bunch of sprayer trainings out in Montana. And it was probably, it was up to that point, it was the most fun I had ever had at work.
Yeah, it sounds like for somebody that has an interest in precision and just the technology involved in ag equipment, you couldn't have walked into a better spot.
No, it was absolutely perfect, and it was so much fun. And everyone over there at C&B Operations, I mean, they treated me like, and I was just an intern, a 20-year-old intern, but they treated me as family, and it was really cool.
Right. So do you have a John Deere sprayer now because of that experience?
We do not actually. No, when we split, Fast Ag Solutions out of Windham, Cody Fast, he approached us and he said, "Hey, we got this 1-year-old sprayer. Would you guys like to demo it for the year?" It was a pull behind 2,400 gallon sprayer on tracks with capstan PWM system, and we absolutely fell in love with it and we bought it.
Nice.
You were thinking about going to a pull-behind sprayer.
At one point, I mean, we used to have one. We had several, and then we went to a Hagee when we seed corn was in our area, and so we started detasseling with the Hagee, and that's how we justified it, because we did not have enough acres to justify a self-propelled sprayer for our own farm. But once it got paid off, then we kind of quit the detasseling and now just have a self-propelled sprayer, but needs update. It's got over 4,000 hours on it.
Yeah, you got to get yourself a couple of 6,000 high cycles.
Yeah, you tow those behind pickup. Get really fast from field to field.
Didn't you redo one of those?
Oh, we own 3 of them at the moment. I'm currently redoing the 3rd one.
Huh.
That's what you're doing. So what all are you doing to it? Complete restoration?
So I bought. No, I mean I'm planning on using it, so I don't want to make it look all pretty just to take it through 14-foot tall corn and take all the paint off again.
Yeah.
But no, I'm putting the CRG on top of the roof, getting RTK on it. I got a Raven 440 rate controller that I go through the COM port of the John Deere monitor so I can map. And then I got an MTG in each of the sprayers so we can share our coverage between the 3 high boys or high cycles. Putting LED lights on them because we do almost all of our fungicide spraying at night.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have more dollars in technology in each sprayer than the sprayers are worth.
Oh, wow.
That's old and new technology coming together. It's kind of cool.
So why? Why go the high cycle route? I mean, obviously we know for fungicide, but
yeah,
there's other options.
The story is, so my brother in college, he worked for the local co-op. So my brother, he's more the agronomist of the family farm, and I'm more the equipment guy. So my brother worked for local co-op, and this is kind of when fungicide was becoming a big thing, and they're really starting to recommend everyone spray it. And my brother wanted to go buy a Hagee and do all these trials on our farm. And my dad said, well, Hagees are kind of expensive. Here's a 6,000 high cycle. Go do all the trials you want to do. Have fun.
Yep.
And then when we started doing a lot of fungicide, either we could go put a loan out on a $500,000 sprayer, or we could just buy a second one.
There you go.
Might scale up,
and
then the third.
And then we blew a head gasket on number 2. So rather than fixing it, I just went and bought a 3rd one.
So you're not running 3 sprayers. You just have 3.
We're not running 3 sprayers. But if this one works good, I think I might try fixing up the one with the blown head gasket or cracked head. I don't know what's wrong with it. That's part of the reason we bought the other one. But I have this vision in my head where my brother and I are each in a high boy, and the 3rd one is sitting by the tender truck, and my dad always keeps one full.
Oh.
So we
swapping
rotate
seats.
Sprayers. Swap seats. That's my end goal.
There you go.
he's going to create an autonomous swarm without the autonomy.
How many gallons can you hold in those?
320.
Oh boy, man, that doesn't take long to
lot.
get through.
and they got a 4-speed manual transmission, and they're very front end light. If you pop the clutch in third, you will go over backwards.
Oh, so you got like a wheelie bar?
No,
I want to see that
my brother
YouTube video.
I have a picture on my phone. My brother tipped his over backward once, and I almost did. There was a valve that was sticking out the bottom of the tank, a plastic valve, and the sprayer hit that valve, cracked the valve, and then brought the sprayer back over.
That's his wheelie bar.
You need a wheelie bar, and that is YouTube gold. Like, all right, let's go spray.
Let's go spray.
Like a skid loader, just,
Yeah.
I know how my gut feels when I'm backing the track skid loader off the ramps on the trailer.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would feel like if all of a sudden all I see is the sky and your sprayer. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's a come to Jesus moment for sure.
When it goes over, does it go just on its back, or does it flip over onto the roof?
So luckily we haven't figured that out yet. When my brother flipped his over, his booms were facing straight back.
Ah.
So he landed on his boom. So he was sitting at an angle probably like this.
Mm-hmm.
And when I flipped mine, it didn't actually flip all the way. I hit that. I was probably teeter-tottering in that 20, 30-degree angle range, and it hit that valve and then popped back down.
That's also when everything in the cab comes loose, or whatever you forgot was behind the seat is now in front of the seat.
Well, the worst one was, and I have this on YouTube. This is actually this is one of the videos that brought me to the level that I'm at right now, was I hit a tile blowout the first year I did it. I dropped the front, it's a 3-wheeled sprayer. I dropped the front end into a tile blowout. And that was when everything behind the seat came, and
ouch.
it was like, oh, I forgot that.
I did that with a telehandler once. That's scary when that booms out 90 feet in the air or whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
Think of being the person if you had one of the man lifts.
Oh, yep.
I'd just like javelin you, like, or whatever. What is that?
Catapult.
Trebuchet.
Catapult.
Yeah, what was a fancy word there?
There you go.
I don't think I could spell trebuchet.
Yeah. So what's new? What's going to be new with the channel? You got anything big coming, or you think just same old, same old?
Well, obviously planting videos are going to start here pretty soon. I got a video of me doing that trial where I lost everything in the cab and I was steering with my markers.
Yep.
But I mean, there's always new stuff on the horizon. Got the organic coming again this year. Got the big field cultivator out. No new equipment this year. The new equipment videos are usually what do really good, but at the current moment we don't got anything planned for that. But the cool thing about farming is that there's always something new.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's ever quite the same. And I think that's why farming content is able to be as sustainable as it is.
Right. Right.
What about you? Are you single? Married?
I currently have a girlfriend. It'll be 2 months on Sunday.
Ooh,
Fresh.
early on.
That's
so
fresh.
We'll be 3 months by the time this airs.
Yeah. See if she's still around.
Oh, last time we heard about an early relationship, we really let him have it.
Yeah. With Jules.
With Jules.
That show's not even out yet.
Nope. We don't know if he's still around either.
She's with someone.
Okay.
I see on Snapchat or
So
Facebook or something.
Is the girlfriend a farm girl?
No, she is not, actually. She is currently going to school. She'll have her master's degree here in athletic sciences, or she monitors athletes, and she can tell by the way they move and the way they act in different tests, you are prone to this injury, you're prone to this injury, and cool stuff like that. And then hopefully she'll be going to PT school here.
Do you think she could apply that to farmers? And tell people that are prone to having a bad back or prone to having their knee blow out?
She could. I'm sure you put her on the side of a hay wagon, she could probably analyze the way that everyone's throwing the hay.
Yeah.
And be like, you're going to be hunched over when you're 80.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to have bad knees. You're going to.
It's kind of funny because I went over to where she's going to school. We went on a hike, and she was analyzing the way that I was walking.
Uh-oh.
Do I want to be with this person?
Don't marry a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Instead of just watching your butt.
Good things. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of just checking you out, she's trying to critique you.
Yep. Yep. See if
Hey,
she wants
Dave,
to spend the
you
rest of her
probably
life.
should do that. Like, you might have a knee injury when you're older.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I don't want you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have a cane.
It's kind of like judging cattle or something like that. I don't want her in my herd. Too much baggage.
Too much baggage.
She's gonna have birthing problems, you
Yep.
know, or something.
Yep.
But
If only we could.
I was listening to the podcast you guys did with Emma here like a month ago,
Yep.
or it aired a while ago.
Yep.
And you guys were talking about every farmer wants a nurse thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
I thought how true. When I was in college, that was all my friends' goal was to find a nurse.
Yep.
Like, let's figure out how to get a cut deep enough that we have to go get stitches so I can go meet 4 or 5 nurses.
Well, I don't have to figure it out. It just happens.
It just
It
happens.
Just
What'd you do there?
I was beating I had a disc gang that got clogged up with corn stalks, and I was beating it out, and I missed, and my finger got caught between the handle and the edge of the disc blade, and broke the tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah, just the tip. I wasn't gonna go to the doctor, but my whole hand went numb. And then when it was not numb anymore, 2 fingers that I didn't hit were hurting really bad for some reason, like in sympathy with it. So like my wife is a nurse, and she said, well, you might have some nerve damage and might just need to go get that checked out. Because I had it splinted already myself.
Yeah.
With an Allen wrench and electrical tape.
Yeah, I actually did it about an hour before I had to come in here and have a meeting with Tanner, and they're just like, what's, like, it's the Anheuser-Busch people, and they're just sitting like, what's wrong with you? Like, bleeding, and I just broke my finger. It's not a big deal. Like, oh, did you do that yesterday?
Yeah.
Or, no, like an hour ago.
Like an hour ago.
You don't need to go to the doctor? No, I'm good.
I mean, I feel like it's a farmer thing. Like you get a cut or something, you smash a finger. The first thing you do is you find the duct tape and you just wrap it around. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
For the day.
I had a thin pair of gloves on, and I did not want to take it off because I knew it was broke right away, but I was like, I don't know. And I was on a new farm in the back, and my brother was supposed to be coming and bringing me some tools so I could clear this, but of course I didn't want to wait. And so I don't know, I thought I passed out for a second. I know I sat down. And then I remember, like, do I have my cell phone in my pocket if I need to call someone?
You need to just squeeze the button on the outside that
Is
does
that
the
how that
emergency alert. Yeah.
Oh, what do you got to squeeze them both? How's that work?
I think so.
Try it.
You ever need to? Yes, try it.
Try it, Dave.
I do it more on my watch. Like my watch will go whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, oh, crap. I didn't mean to.
When I was setting up my first Apple Watch, I called 911. And I couldn't stop it. I didn't know how to stop it. And I was like, they're like, what's your emergency? I'm like, I'm just setting up my Apple Watch. I don't know how.
Sir, is that code? Are you really in danger?
People call 911 for the dumbest things.
Yeah. But don't they have to normally go check it out? Or
No, not every time.
Yeah.
I don't know. People call the fire station when I work there and like, hey, how do you cook a turkey? Like, are you kidding me?
Really?
No, that's what I want to know. We got to cut. Yeah.
That's probably legit, though, because we know that you guys are just in there cooking stuff all the time. Like, what's the best recipe for this?
Yeah. We don't want to light the house on fire, though.
Yeah.
I need to make spaghetti for 18 people. How many noodles do I need?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So, huh.
Well, Carson, this has been a pleasure. It went by really, really fast. But at the end of every one of our episodes, we get to ask our guests a question. And I haven't stopped it yet, but Dave and Corey came up with the question that we're using right now.
It's very philosophical.
It is.
Philosophical.
Yeah.
It's
Oh boy.
It's really not.
we want to know what the best food is that you have ever had and where you got it.
Oh boy. You have to let me think about this one a little bit.
Well, that's fine. We can remind our listeners we want them to either share this with 5 of their friends or send us $5.
Do it with 6 for me.
6 for Corey.
Yeah.
You either have to,
5 for Tanner,
you
6
gotta
for me.
share it. So that's 11. So they got to share it with 11 people.
No, I just do one more for me.
Oh, for you, you get the added
Because
bonus.
I told you to do it, not Tanner.
I'm gonna shut up.
Yep.
I'm gonna sit here and just watch you.
Yep. So you got it? You know where your best food is?
I do got my answer.
All right.
So, in Du Bois, Wyoming, I forget the name of the restaurant, but there's only a select handful, so it could be too hard to find.
In where?
In Du Bois, Wyoming.
Okay.
So I'm a big snowmobiler, so I go West snowmobiling a couple times a year. And there was this restaurant. It was a pretty fancy restaurant. We definitely were underdressed for sure, but it was the only place open that night. And they had like a half-pound bison burger with like some with like sauteed onions on it and stuff. It was so good. It was absolutely cooked to perfection. That was by far the best food I ever had. Then after that, it's everything my mom cooks. She's a great cook, but
Yeah. There you go.
The greatest bison burger in Du Bois, Wyoming is from the Lone Buffalo Steakhouse.
yep, that's it.
There you go.
Jeez.
That's it. You got it.
It's Google famous.
That
The
sounds
Lone
good. I know
Buffalo.
I've had bison, but I don't ever remember eating it. Like I think I was younger. I want to try it again.
You ever had duck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to duck hunt all the time.
Roast duck.
You haven't had it good. Then.
Peking
You
duck.
can't
I've had
eat
it
the
good.
you can't eat the divers. You got to eat the good puddle jumpers.
Oh, really?
Wood duck, teal,
Gotcha.
mallard.
Fair
Wood
enough.
duck though, that stuff they eat acorns and corn all year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Take them suckers and you pop a little bacon around it. Fantastic.
Oh.
So you said snowmobiling a lot. Our next recording's not here yet, so we're going to keep this going.
There you go.
Where? Trail ride? You mountains?
Wyoming.
Well, I get he went to Wyoming once. That doesn't mean he goes to Wyoming every time.
He said twice
So
a
I
year.
go to Wyoming every time. But no, not every
jeez.
time, but I'm an adrenaline junkie. I like mountain snowmobiling. I like getting myself in spots where I really shouldn't be and seeing if I can get out of it.
I like that.
Been to Togety many times. Island Park, West Yellowstone. I went. I don't know if you guys know Chris Barant at all. In high school, I went and rode with Chris Barant in Buena Vista, Colorado. That was a lot of fun. Steamboat, Colorado. It's a lot of fun. Very expensive hobby, but
Oh yeah.
thoroughly enjoy it.
What brand of sled?
I got a Polaris 22 Chaos 850.
Yep.
Nice.
I had a Polaris Rush 2010 when they first came out with that new chassis.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Nice.
My brother had a Switchback, which was the longer track version of the Rush.
yep.
Perfect. All right, so if our listeners want to find you, what's the best way for them to look you up?
Yeah, so all my social media handles is 6Gen Farmer, so 6TH Gen Farmer. If you want to watch snowmobiling videos, I have another YouTube channel called CK Shenanigans. I have like 2 videos on that, but
CK
and then my website, if you want to learn more about the AgriGPS CRG, is www.6genfarmer.com.
Awesome. Well, Carson, thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you taking the time. I think it was well worth your time if you got out of hauling corn today.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was
I'm in
certainly.
shorts right now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I haven't worn shorts all year.
Well, it's been our pleasure. So thanks a lot for doing this, listeners. We also appreciate you listening. Corey, what do you tell the listeners?
Crack a bush light. You deserve it.